Minus 9. Damn it. Yeah. Plus 20. Sure. Yeah.
The harvest is ready at last.
Bonk. 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 2 out of 3. Bonk. Infernal Tempest. Okay. Yeah, that's what's going on.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and here's another spicy story for you all today. Today alone, I'll be covering some Hollywood news, gaming news, movies, music, wide variety of topics. I know not every topic will appeal to everybody, but a large chunk of my viewers are still not subscribed. So I'm hoping that today will be the day I earn that subscription. There's a little button right below the video, red button that says subscribe. I hope today will be the day I earn it. Now, BabyZone is a gaming YouTuber that produces a wide variety of video topics, whether it's, they make some kind of edited videos, they make all sorts of Last of Us videos right now, all sorts of interesting things. The channel has over 500,000 subscribers and has been going strong for a very long time. And actually, earlier this year, they were on my radar because they had the channel suspended by YouTube. Back in March, Team YouTube, my channel, has been unbanned. I would like to thank everyone who's helped fix the issue. It's been over 3 weeks struggling with this issue. So his channel was unbanned back in March, which is great. Then it was brought to my attention by BabyZone, as well as Michael over at Legacy Kill HD, saying, YouTuber BabyZone YouTube, by the way, Michael's a great channel too, allegations made against IGN are currently blowing up on Reddit. Apparently, IGN stole the YouTuber's gaming content without giving credit, cut out his watermark, and monetized it.
He's a good guy.
Absolutely insane. And the original links finally come forward. Now, IGN, this isn't the first time they've done this. If we go back to just August 2018, I know that probably feels like a million billion years ago, they were embroiled in another scandal where one of their employees was stealing from another YouTuber. In this case, it was Boomstick Gaming. Remember Philip Mewson and his legendarily terrible apology video? You remember that? So it was never just one time. That's a lesson you learn when investigating plagiarism. And when it came to light that IGN Nintendo editor Philip Mewson plagiarized his Dead Cells review from a YouTuber, it seemed more likely that more evidence would turn up. IGN has since fired Mewson after an incredibly swift investigation that concluded that yes, he did lift content in an unacceptable way, but Mewson's reaction after the fact became its own news story. He returned to the comfort of his personal YouTube channel to issue a response, not an apology per se, but more of a defense of himself, saying what he did was not intentional. He went on to challenge Kotaku journalist Jason Schreier, accusing him of covering for the story for clicks and inventing further evidence of stolen content was merely similar opinions instead. Mewson issued a challenge to find more actual evidence. He had done something wrong, and well, the internet delivered. Outside of the initial Dead Cells review that went up on IGN, more tips came in. The Mewson had lifted language from Nintendo Life review of FIFA 18, an Engadget review of Seamus Returns, often rewriting parts of it, but the similarities are clear. Both videos reviews he did before he was hired at IGN, but now a third bit of plagiarism has come to light. That's probably the worst of all. A Twitter user, Joseph39151, posted a tweet that said Mewson lifted language from a NeoGAF post in 2017 describing how Nintendo HD's Rumble worked. But unlike other examples, this one is literally word for word. An entire paragraph takes straight from the forum and used in his video script without attribution. Read below and along with the embedded video, which has now been deleted. It's the whole paragraph right down to the emphasis on I believe. It would be shocking if I didn't expect more stuff like this to turn up. Schreier says on Twitter that he's received even more tips like this regarding dozens of his videos, copying things from other sites, forums, and even Wikipedia. I'm guessing he'll post a grand list at some point, but the latest one was so severe I had to highlight it. Fortunately for IGN, it doesn't seem like the content is stuff he's done for them, well, except for Dead Cells, right? And IGN has had an interesting history of, how do you say, corporate shilling. I guess that's what I would call it. Now, to the recent, if we go to BabyZone's community tab, by the way, if you're checking out BabyZone, maybe consider giving him a subscribe or check out his content at the very least. Now, 11 hours ago. Wait, I'm sorry, yeah. It's a shame to see IGN stealing my videos and trying to cut my watermark out, then re-uploading to their Facebook pages and getting millions of views, so making a bunch of money without even taking my authorization. I spent 3 weeks in average to make each video, and they just didn't bother and re-uploaded my video without permission. This is also called freebooting, and it's a huge problem on Facebook. I filed a DMCA takedown, and Facebook protected them. Think about that. The original creator
I cannot do this yet.
couldn't even DMCA their own video because Facebook protected IGN, which probably means IGN had to file a counterclaim and say that the video was theirs. I can't be 100% sure of that, but if it's anything like YouTube, when you get a DMCA claim, you first, as the person who received the claim, respond to that. Now, if they stole a 500 subs channel content, I wonder, 500K I think you mean, I wonder how many smaller creators were stolen by IGN and no one even noticed. What a shame. Then he provided an update. Many asked which videos IGN stole from me. They stole 3 videos from Mortal Kombat 11. They made 1 compilation video and re-uploaded my Celebrities Mortal Kombat video featuring Keanu Reeves after adding their watermark. They added their watermark to it. So not only did they cut out his watermark, they uploaded their own on top of it and monetized the video. Absolutely disgusting behavior by IGN. Now, was this some rogue social media employee that works for IGN? Probably. But here's how IGN needs to make it right. They need to issue Babyzone an apology and give him not only whatever money was generated from that, but I would suggest they also give the channel a shout out on their Facebook. You know, they could say, hey, we uploaded this video, you know, we didn't know where it came from, but actually it came from this YouTuber. You should check out their channel for more. I mean, that's how you just handle it, right? That seems like, you know, obviously, well, you shouldn't steal from YouTubers in the first place, but, you know, it's sad, but this isn't exactly uncommon in the YouTube sphere, especially when we're dealing with large companies. Here's a more detailed screenshot with my watermark partially showing on the left side. You can see the end of it right here. So they cut that out and then put IGN on there. And this video obviously got very, very decent traffic with 7.4 thousand reactions, many comments, and who knows if he ever even would have found out about this. And then as of 6 hours ago, we actually have some good news, but I'd say not enough. Hey guys, the 2 videos on IGN Brazil Facebook page were removed. Thank you for your help. I'm still pissed off that Facebook didn't strike them when I filed the DMCA, and they just made a bunch of views and money and still got away with it. If you see any other videos from other creators, please inform them, as their channel is full of plagiarism. To find my 2 videos, I spent 2 hours going through a huge stolen library. I have other videos stolen from other games, who knows, but I was too tired to check that. Thank you for your support, much appreciated. Now, this is a random IGN Facebook Brazil, but who knows? Who knows? Now that the Reddit detectives are on it, who knows how many additional videos will be clear. You can look at some of the top comments. Seems about right. These companies make it clear they don't care about people, just money. It's not even worth posting really good art when you know jerks are going to steal it and not give credit. We saw this with, I covered another artist, oh, I wish I could think of their name, Jonas, I think, where some washed up rapper, or whatever his name was stealing their stuff, and the Lions art was getting stolen and used for cover art. Look, if you take something, you put it in the thumbnail, and you don't, you know, and you forget to give attribution, that could be understandable. But when you're monetizing somebody else's content, when you're going out of your way to not only remove their watermark, but then add your own on top of it, this is not an accident. This is malicious. They went out of their way to locate a popular video from a YouTuber and then stole that video, tried to hide the evidence, and then profited from it. That's what happened here. And you know what? This keeps happening to YouTubers. We see, what is that big super huge mega corporation, the Score Esports. They're another content manufacturing house that has stolen content from YouTubers multiple times. The only people that seem to be able to protect their content are super huge mega corporations who don't need it and only use it to abuse YouTubers in the first place. Pathetic. Pathetic response, IGN simply deleting it and hoping it will go away. I expect a full statement. I expect you to give credit to Baby Zone, and I expect you to forward whatever money or revenue you generated from those videos to Baby Zone as well. This would be the absolute bare minimum to make this right. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay. Coming. Hold on.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and people are understandably tired, sick and tired of hearing about The Last of Us 2. And every time I think the topic is kind of wound down, something new comes up. And over the weekend, it seems like almost in a perfectly timed, almost coordinated effort, several game journalists, including Alessandro Fileri of GameSpot and Kirk McKeon. Kirk, I love to throw milkshakes at people I disagree with politically. McKeon, over from VG 24/7, went on a bit of a anti-YouTuber rant, simply because people dared to criticize The Last of Us Part 2. And I've said many, many, many times in the past that, look, of course people like this game. There are millions of people that enjoy this game, and they shouldn't feel bad enjoying it. Even many of you have reached out to me like, dude, give it a rest. I know. I hear you. But this piece of news is more about their reaction to it and just how slimy these people are. Over the weekend, we know that really vile things were sent to a voice actress, Laura Bailey, on the show. And everyone basically came out in agreement, myself, Angry Joe, obviously people like SkillUp, to disavow these type of things. And here's how Alessandro, certified blue checkmark with a whopping 1,370 followers on Twitter, but is a writer and editor for GameSpot. Remember, GameSpot is the outlet that couldn't beat SpongeBob. It's also the same outlet, if I remember correctly, that gave Pokemon, the Waterworld Pokemon 8 out of 10 too much water. Also the same outlet that got mad about all the zombies from Days Gone being white, even though, it's part of the albino, it's part of the lore, it's built into the game, but none of that's important, obviously. So Angry Joe, or Joe Vargas, puts out, send these type of things, they're small PP energy. If you send these things, you're a piece of garbage, blah, 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 right? Okay, very strong. It's also saying, I stand with Laura Bailey, who did an awesome job voicing her character, Abby, in The Last of Us 2. To which Alessandro decides to tweet, this tweet from Angry Joe rings incredibly hollow, considering his review of The Last of Us Part 2 is just an extended diatribe of his misogynistic views. His content more than likely contributed to people harassing Laura, so he can just F off with his pathetic about face. Well, it has his tweet, obviously, wonderfully ratioed at 1.4 thousand replies to a paltry 350 likes. And most of the replies are pointing out it's absolutely ridiculous. Joe coming in here saying, you haven't even seen a single one of my videos, have you? Game journalism has become a circus. Yep. You see all this stuff, and this is exactly what I talked about when Joe's 6 out of 10 came out. I mean, you just knew that people were going to go at him for not liking the game, not saying it was stunning and brave, 10 out of 10. His review was basically 2 hours long, including the first 1 hour long review and then the extended review and spoilers, where he broke down point by point how he arrived at a 6 out of 10.
Number 3. That says something.
Well, guys, it's finally done. I have The Last of Us 2 review out. Yes, it is nearly an hour long. I have a lot to say on it. I have to preface this with a spoiler warning. When this came out, Sony actually restricted early copy receivers that they can only speak about 50% of the story. And in order for me to get across what I wanted to get across, I just had to talk about some spoilers. So yes, there are some spoilers in here. It's been out long enough, I think that might be okay, but be warned. It took me a long time, a lot of late night sessions. I want to thank all of you for being so patient. I want to thank my sponsor, G Fuel. These are two of the best flavors, green apple pear and the PewDiePie flavor. And they also just put out this moon pie flavor. Guys, click my link down below. They're supporting me and my channel, and I really want to support them back, have the Angry Army support them. Please, please, please click that link below. They're 30% off. If you've never tried it, trust me, it's great energy, zero sugar, and helps you get through some late night gaming sessions or editing sessions like I just did here. So support them as they're supporting us. Okay, guys? I hope you enjoy the review. It's a long one, so kind of strap in here. And if you stay tuned to the end, we got a special G Fuel parody as a thanks to them for supporting us. And hope you guys enjoy. Check it out. Okay, Ellie, we've been doing this a long time now. So, I think together we can survive. Oh no, a clicker! Wow! That was great! I'm so proud of you, girl! I think you can handle it! You could go off on your own!
Think so?
Yes! You could survive!
Wow.
And together, I think that we can handle anything!
Yeah.
Yeah! Hello! I'm Joel, and this is Ellie. We're living Jackson, and she might actually be part of the cure. Nice to meet you. Oh! No! Ah! 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 Ah!
I don't know who you are, or where you went, where you're from, what you look like anymore, because I forgot. But I have a certain set of skills, or how the fuck you got so big. But I will seek my vengeance!
You done fucked it up. Now. Before everyone rushes to call me sexist, transphobic, intolerant, or as IGN would like you to believe, a basement-dwelling virgin, simply for not liking certain aspects, not all aspects, but certain aspects of this apparently 10 out of 10 game, 100%. Let me at least fully explain why. I love the first game, The Last of Us. For Christ's sake, I gave its remaster on PS4 one of my few 10 out of 10s ever. A legendary rating, legendary status, and earns a 10 out of 10, making this the 4th game ever to earn my highest rating, and it deserves it. It was the best on PlayStation 3, and it is literally the best on PlayStation 4 right now. Why? Because this game had strong characters, a compelling story within a genre I'm tired of. It was extremely well written. The bond between Joel and Ellie was a formula that was fantastic. It had so many unforgettable moments. This is what we loved. The pacing, perfect. I empathized so much with the characters that we found ourselves literally crying.
4,000.
Dang, son. And one mission!
Well, there's none of that shit here, even when they're supposed to be. And now, much of the things that made this previous game so great are now things that don't hold up here. They demolished the relationship that made that first game so strong. And we are left disconnected from the characters we love for so much of the game. Now, I'm gonna dive more into this in an extended spoilers discussion, but as you can tell from the opening parody, it's out. The cat is out of the bag, okay? So if you wanna strap in for the ride, know that there may be some spoilers here. And first, let me address this. No, it's not because of a certain person dying, Joel. It's how a character's death is executed. And that's just one case. How believable is it? How does it come about? Was it set up properly? How much agency does it have? Does it make any sense? In this case, it makes barely any.
You two live nearby?
We do. A few hours down the hill. Y'all should come back with us, restock before you head out. Tommy, this is my brother.
Y'all act like you heard of us or something.
And we're gonna play as Abby some more? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
No, fuck Abby. I don't want to play as this. This is exactly as I thought it was. Fuck this. It could have been executed far smarter.
Oh, hey, look, we're outnumbered 5-1. I'm Tommy. This is my brother Joel. Joel Miller, if you were wondering. We're currently out of bullets. We're just from down the hill, Jackson. We've got a fully functioning hydroelectric dam. Do you guys like power? We got one of those. We got 35 armed guards, mostly on patrol between 10 and 4. That's probably when we're most vulnerable. I have a fear of spiders. He doesn't like snakes and golf clubs. His daughter figure is immune to the infection. I don't know what you would do with that. If for some reason he was to die, I don't think I would want to come after you. I think I'd be really reluctant, the whole cycle of violence thing not being very good. But later on, to drive plot, I would be really gung-ho about this daughter figure coming after you, abandoning her brand new family, which would kind of spit in the memory of Joel. Joel would never want that for her, but I guess spitting on Joel is the whole point of this game, right?
Joel's death is so undeniably rushed that the rest of the game to me started to become boring, predictable. You know where it's going right out of the gate. So now what we're going to do is the rest of the game, just going to do a revenge plot.
Well, it's only half of the rest of the game. Remember, the other half we play as Abby.
Stupid face for killing Joel.
I'm going to murder her.
Love Joel.
Anything good in there? Found an old tourist map.
Well, that is until they throw another gotcha and ruin yet another character at the end. You're like, well, what the fuck was the point in this then? What? Are you out of your mind? I've been waiting 7 years in order to be able to re-engage with these characters, and when they come here, they're nothing like the characters that we know. They're done poorly. They're focusing on completely different characters that I don't give a shit about, that you didn't introduce properly to make me care about them in the best way possible, and I'm playing more with them than I am with the characters that I've been waiting to play with, and then at the end of the game, the characters that I wanted to play with are destroyed. They're gone. They're nothing. They're broken or dead. All of them are broken or dead, and all the new characters that I like in this game are dead and gone and broken. Are you out of your mind? And if that's the point of the game, then okay, I'm still gonna be upset. And no, it's not about how the protagonist looks either. Abby having huge muscles. No, in fact, ultimately, upon playing it, that is one of the things we loved most about her.
Square.
Holy fuck! Oh my god! That is fucking hilarious.
Stomping them to death.
Ah! Fuck you, bro!
It's like a bar fight!
What you want? You want some of this?
It's a bar
I'm
fight.
a bitch, so fuck you. I'm gonna get good at dodging, bitch. Fuck you. Despite it not making much sense in this world. What the fuck? Look at that. Look at this complex.
A little too excited.
That's why Abby's so swole. I mean, this is like the most state-of-the-art football complex. Dallas Cowboys. Wait a minute. I made that joke as a joke. They're literally in the Dallas Cowboys compound.
No, it can't be.
That's
It
how
says
she got so
champions.
fucking
It says
jacked, and
champions. It
now I
can't be
get
the
it.
Cowboys. It can't
Oh
be
yeah,
the
well we
Cowboys.
were
You don't know what
five-time
year?
Super Bowl champions, so you don't know
what
shit about
year?
football.
Yeah, when was that?
It was in history.
Long.
Just like Patriot history, just like Steeler history. But Abby's gameplay is fun as hell!
Fucking one hit.
Go to sleep! Try to attack my friend? You piece of shit. Hey, no! Do not! This is me and him!
That was amazing, the one hit.
I just don't really care about doing it, other than for that pure raw spectacle.
Jesus Christ.
I saw her breathing. Punch her again.
She's fucking lying. She's fucking faking. Abby, fuck her up.
Guys, Abby's coming.
Abby's coming, act like you're dead. Listen, the problem is that we did not wait 7+ years to play as Abby.
I kind of wish they made an Abby game, just not
Guys,
this one.
up here.
Yeah.
Right, if she was starring in her own like Spec Ops game, we'd like,
Yes.
especially a character that kills one of our most beloved characters, flawed or not.
Joel! Tommy!
We didn't want to return to this story only to see our characters butchered and broken and left worse by someone the writers want us so desperately to care about instead. So much so that they will pull emotionally manipulative things clearly to make it happen. Abby gets all the attention. What? What is this?
Abby.
This is Abby.
Fuck! No!
It's his turn.
Good,
4 years
congratulations.
earlier.
I don't even know how to play.
Fuck this. Right there.
How do you jump?
Press this. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was looking for.
Just get in the mud. How do you jump? Oh, there you go. You just have to be running. What? You guys are fucking leaving me? I don't want to play this shit.
Abby gets everything, and Ellie gets nothing. It's like you can clearly see the bias. Hello, ladies. Thank you for showing up to the design meeting. I'm Neil. I just wanted to introduce our new character, Abby. I think the audience is going to love Abby. Everybody's going to love Abby. So I want to make sure that we all give Abby her due. So, in fact, Abby, I got some exclusive features for you. You're going to have the small med kit at the beginning of the game, but later on, you're going to have the big med kit. In fact, Abby, I was thinking about doing dual wielding, guns, or maybe I'll take that feature out. But you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll just give you the guns anyway. In fact, why don't you just take all the best guns in the game? I got Molotov cocktails. I got all sorts of really good stuff for you.
Well, what do I get?
Shut up, Ellie! Nobody's talking to you right now! This is about Abby, not everything is about you!
But that doesn't even make sense. Well, can I at least get a medikit?
You know what? You can have this bottle of piss, Ellie! Now shut up!
What am I supposed to do with this?
I don't care! Nobody cares! In fact, we'll just give you all the old weapons that Ellie had in the last game. You're definitely gonna need one of these. Yeah, so everything's gonna be great. And I don't know, here, take a napkin too, just in case you might need it.
You wipe your ass with that.
What'd you say, Ellie?
Nothing.
Stop being selfish! This isn't about you!
This has never been about you!
Someone's not going to be in Last of Us 3.
I know. I got some plans for her.
We play as her for nearly 12 hours, which is almost identical to Ellie. She gets all the best guns, equipment. She gets to pet and play fetch with the doggos.
Hey, Alice.
Oh, such a good dog. It'd be horrible if someone ever killed you.
You want to pet her?
Yeah.
See?
They are trying so fucking hard.
Instead of killing them like Ellie.
Oh my god, I don't ever want to do that again, Joe. This is your segment. What? What the fuck, Joe?
I had to.
What the fuck?
Oh. Oh, shit.
Fuck this game.
See? Abby good, Ellie bad. Please, please, please like Abby.
I think she wants you to throw it again. Okay, one more time. Yeah, you're so fast. So fast. Gotta go.
This is so fucking manipulative. Doggo.
Can I do it again?
Doggy.
Love that.
That dog will play fetch
Doogers.
8 hours a day.
Do you like her yet?
Ooh, fetch.
Do ya? Do ya?
Sorry.
Yo.
Doogers
You
wants
fetch
you to play
now.
Sorry, dog.
You fetch good.
Hey! Doug said, bitch.
It's like this half of the game is a completely separate game.
What? You have to kill a dog.
have to.
Okay.
You have to. There's no way.
She gets this pointless love story that leads to some serious cringe and an honestly uncomfortable, abrupt sex scene that like comes out of nowhere for what's going on in the scene.
What the fuck?
Sexual healing.
What the? What?
What about Mel?
Oh
you
no!
cheater?
Wait! Hey!
What about
Hey! No,
Mel?
hey! Hey! Whoa!
Fucking cheater.
What? I don't want to see. No wait. Whoa! What? Hey! 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 Oh! Whoa! What are you fuck? That's a goddamn sexy. What the fuck is this shit?
What? What?
So,
Am I fucking crazy? Was that his idea? And then she killed Joe. Like, I was supposed to fucking care about their relationship.
oh, and it's
watch
with
her
Mel.
get fucked from behind. Like, what
He's
the
a
fuck?
cheater.
He's
Neil?
a cheater.
He's a
That's
cheater.
disgusting. Oh.
yeah, doesn't Sony not allow sex scenes in any of their games? They ban a ton of games from other
That's
regions
right.
too for any sort of nudity.
Yeah, like they can't even show fucking panties and shit.
But this is art.
So Neil Druckmann must have had to gone to bat
Yeah.
hardcore. He's like, no, Abby's getting fucked, and I don't care. I want to see Abby get fucked from behind. I want her doggy style. And they're like, whoa, Neil, man, I'm not sure. I mean, Abby killed Joel, and I mean, maybe that's not a great idea. No, she's getting fucked, bro. All right.
So at every turn, we are told that our old characters are bad and see the good in the new characters. Like Manny, her mercilessly kills, spits on our father figure and says, pendejo every 5 seconds. Pendejo, pendejo, pendejo.
Bullshit. And then there's Neil Druckmann right there.
Or Danny. Who's Danny? Yeah, we don't know either.
Holy shit. It's Danny.
Which one was Danny?
Where's Owen?
I don't fucking know, because we don't care about these people. That's the thing. Danny, no! Oh, what? Wait, who?
Or Owen, who is a two-timing creep, a cheater. Or how about the dumbass pregnant lady who insists on going to the front lines of combat with a fucking unborn child, and everyone in this dumbass crew is okay with it and agrees with it.
And I want to say, fuck this lady for going out into a combat mission while pregnant.
Really?
You are fucking stupid.
It's true.
Look at all of these other people in this forward base. Not a single one of them could have took her place. Really?
Yeah, there's 1,000 people.
That is Neil Druckmann writing. I want a pregnant lady on the front line.
Okay, here we go. Got it.
You literally slammed your fucking baby up against the goddamn chain. The fucking cage.
Yeah.
You want to do
What
right
did
by
he
these
say?
kids?
Wait.
Get out of their lives before you screw them
Oh.
over.
Wait, you
Get him away
gonna
from that.
talk to us about doing right by kids? Get the fuck out of here, you bitch. You're over here running around with your pregnant ass on combat missions with some fucking zombies and some fucking scars and some Stay your ass at home until you give birth. You dumb fuck.
These new characters are pieces of shit.
Right. You're a piece of shit, Abby.
True.
You want to fight?
And starts.
I will knock you and that baby out right now.
And they tell us our old characters are just pieces of shit now too. Sure, Joel wasn't a saint, but no one is in this world. We cared for them anyway. You made us care for them. And the new characters they introduce in Jackson, like Dina, they're okay, but mostly uninteresting. And Tommy acts really off the entire game. He's not himself, and he gives up way too quickly, which doesn't make any sense considering the end. Ellie doesn't even pick up the damn PS Vita.
PS Vita.
Nora. Sure.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Fuck is there a PS Vita?
We're in the hospital. Yeah, they're clearing out the upper.
Oh, I gave you. Bitch, I was giving you a free pass.
Who the fuck does that? Nobody does that.
Okay, so whatever. She's got more pressing matters, but come on. You put that shit in your backpack.
I also don't buy that Ellie's not picking it up and putting it in the pocket. Going,
Right, that is fucking stupid.
I would.
Ellie loves that kind of shit.
This is a new Ellie, Joe.
Oh, right.
Dark.
And she doesn't like anything or anyone.
It's dark, son.
Fuck you! You found another pun book? Yes! Trick fucking master!
What'd I say to you when we walked down the steps? What'd I say?
I'm just fixing your stupid pile.
Don't touch. God damn it.
The writing in this game is laughable. The coincidences, the plot armor, time and time again, major characters are about to be killed, and suddenly they're not because they get distracted and a new character is introduced, and then that happens once, and then it happens again. It's just 5 seconds later, and then again.
So they let both of them live?
And you didn't fucking earn it. And then they let it does not make sense.
What did I fuck up now?
Get the other. Don't lose her. Go!
Jordan. You're supposed to be out looking for the other one.
Plot armor.
What the fuck is this?
Shipped it right there.
The smuggler that we kill all trespassers. Hold on. That doesn't make any sense. Can you just think for yourself for a quick second right now? Get away.
Shoot her? Shoot her? Shoot them.
Come here.
Over and over and over, this kind of stuff punches you out of the story. And I'm sorry, when my suspension of disbelief is broken, I was trying my best to get it back and to get back into the story. But with its off pacing and flashbacks within flashbacks, I was never able to.
Get out of us. The one guy, Jordan, kicked my face in.
So?
Yeah, but why do you think that they didn't finish the...
It doesn't matter. They fucked up. They did.
And all of this is done in the name of subverting our expectations. It's as if Neil Druckmann had no idea what to do with the story. So he's like, do the story, and I don't know what to do with the story, and I need help. I need help. Where am I gonna get help? No, that's stupid. I can't do this. No, the pressure is too much pressure. Oh, God damn it. Everybody loved the first game. My characters were so well written and smart. I don't know what to do for the sequel. I don't know if I should make one. I used up all my good side characters. We ended on such a good note, too. How do I continue this? What would the greats do?
Shock the audience. Then you don't need strong writing.
And plot armor. Lots of plot armor. Make characters drive plot through stupidity and random events, like Picard.
Most importantly, subvert all expectations.
But the expectations are a satisfying and believable story.
I said subvert the expectations.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll subvert their expectations. I'll subvert all their expectations. The story is simply told in a jumbled mess to make matters worse. There are some good flashback scenes, some amazing ones. Mainly, you know, the ones that have Joel and Ellie.
Look at me! I'm on a motherfucking dinosaur!
Don't jump. Just climb down.
Ah!
Hey!
But then there are flashbacks within flashbacks that are within flashbacks. No, that are in a timeline that is in the past, trying to catch up with the timeline that you just played previously with another character. And frankly, it's too much. And sometimes it's boring. This game is exactly the same gameplay from the first. And so it gets repetitive a little quicker as you're literally doing the same things you were in the first game, like scavenging for half of the game. Look, I like it. I liked it the first time, and it's still fun here to craft and get all the materials and to find stuff. But where's the innovation? That was fine in the first game because it had a much more compelling story to get you through. This one does not, and it adds nothing. And frankly, I just do not give a shit about Abby and her crew, no matter how many dogs she pets and how many sex scenes of hers are thrown in. You know what I do give a shit about? Joel, Ellie.
Happy birthday, kiddo.
What is this?
This is a thing that took a mighty effort to find. I do okay.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The infection? Jackson? How people live in this world? How do their limited resources do against a horde migration that we keep hearing about? Imagine it crashing in the walls. Is the cure still possible? How would that be implemented without a tyrannical power struggle and one group hoarding the cure and becoming evil? You know, shit that you made us care about in the last game and then completely abandoned so that you could teach us some hollow lesson that senseless killing is bad.
So? And you killed. Yeah.
Abby.
Do it. There's no reason.
You're so fucking pissed off. You let her go once. She kills your friends.
This is drivel. Absolute drivel. Only that lesson rings hollow when you have us kill perhaps the entire city of Seattle. Major several side boss characters we kill. Hell, even characters that have nothing to do with Ellie's ultimate goal of revenge, we murder anyway.
Oh!
It looks good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm liking the gameplay.
But then suddenly, We're gonna pull a 180 at the climax. No, no thank you. You couldn't even give us the payoff that's due, or give us the choice. It is a wholly unsatisfying ending, and you've essentially wasted my time and the time of everyone else with that dribble.
And if there is no Last of Us 3, and this is literally the end of the series, what?
Well, we're getting a TV show. We're getting a TV show. We're not getting a game. So they're gonna be focusing.
TV show just to retell the same stupid fucking story.
Why is the person that we connected with so fully in the first game given less than 5 minutes? 5 minutes of meaningless game time. Less than 5 minutes. Are you serious? I mean, that borders on false advertising from the ads that we've seen. Wait, wouldn't giving Joel more make the rest of what happens in the story more powerful? And we are supposed to applaud these choices as bold and brave. Well, I think they're just stupid. Stupid, lazy, manipulative, and contrived writing that boils down to nothing more than a vanilla revenge is bad story, when this universe can do that and so much more.
Is this the point where Druckmann was weeping at his own game?
You know how many females we've killed in this game? Any one of them could have been early stages of pregnancy.
It's just at a certain point in the game, and you know what happens. I wanted nothing more than for Abby to fail, and I tried my best for that to make that happen.
Where are you going?
What?
That's the way the story ends. And now, Ellie and Joel live happily ever after.
Guys,
it's a good game.
I give The Last of Us 2 Part 2 a 10 out of 10. I did not expect that story at all. I gotta say, that is really fucking brave from Neil Druckmann. I take back everything I've ever said.
Wait, what?
I really enjoy this game. I think you got Part 2 a 10 out of 10. I did not expect that story at all. I gotta say, that is really fucking brave from Neil Druckmann. I take back everything I've ever said. I really enjoy this game. I think you guys need to go out and check it out. It's very bold. It's very bold.
I like the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Did you?
Where are you going? I did not expect that.
Expectations subverted. Yeah, we did it.
Wow.
You literally find yourselves rooting for these poorly written characters to die. Because either they are boring, they're shitty people, poorly written, or if just to stop their section of the game and get back to, I don't know, Ellie's story? I thought this was Ellie's game. You know, what we've been waiting for.
Hey, whose birthday is it?
You can't keep doing that.
I want a good splash. We've got more exploring to do.
Do it, Joel.
Geronimo!
Nice.
Texan Geronimo.
Look, and I'm not saying that they couldn't do the story this way. Please, please don't dismiss. Oh, it's just that maybe it would have worked, played out differently, told better, in a different order. Like maybe we could have played as Abby first, play as a child. Let us build up this muscle mass to avenge this traumatic event that the audience isn't aware of and is never shown until it's too late. Ellie could get pissed at Joel like she does here the whole fucking game, and then sets out on her own game. And at some point crosses paths with Abby. And these two save each other and build a friendship. And they are the duo that we play and care for just as we did Ellie and Joel in the first game. And then later Abby can find out who they really are and who Joel really is. Bam! Then a thing happens and Ellie's world is rocked. That would have been compelling. That would have had real drama. This right here in the beginning of the first hour, it's just shock factor, for pure shock factor, completely missing its own point that it's trying to make. And I came up with that in 5 minutes. And you're telling me in 7 years this is what they did?
It's not earned. It's fucking bullshit.
Okay.
I guarantee you in The Last of Us Part 3,
No.
they're gonna kill Ellie.
But in the like she's gonna eat something, find out she's allergic to peanuts in the first 5 minutes, and then she's gonna die. And then they introduce a new character, and then she's like, you played this person now.
It's fucking Karen. They're gonna introduce motherfucking Karen in The Last of Us Part 3 and replace fucking Ellie with the way this shit is fucking going.
Hell, to hammer my point home about revenge is bad and internal conflict, Abby. Why does Abby never show remorse? She gets to do anything she wants to do. She gets everything she wants, and she's never bothered by it. She's never conflicted. She doesn't care. Maybe showing pain from this event. Her internal conflict afterwards. Nothing is shown that Abby regrets what she did or she questions her motivation at all at any point. Nope, she's happy. It's great. Awesome. Revenge is good for Abby, but not for Ellie. That doesn't make any sense. What? Are you out of your mind? Now, my rant is over, but I will give the game this. It's not all bad. This is some of the best graphics I have ever seen on a PS4.
God damn, this game is so beautiful. I can't shut
There are
up
still people around.
about that look good. Like, that look good?
Maybe they
That
didn't
look
make it
good.
here. Maybe.
That look good.
Let's find that gas.
It is beautiful.
Oh, shit! Fuck.
No.
Okay. Come on.
That's some good fucking mud, man.
I don't think it can get any better on this hardware. It is so damn impressive.
My bad.
Excuse me, woman.
Guys, seriously, look at that fucking snow. Do you see that shit? That is some impressive fucking shit. Even the fucking, like, flakes and cracks and chunks.
There are seamless transitions between gameplay and cutscenes. There is very little loading. The animations are absolutely flawless.
I can't see grass.
Look at that. That grass move, man. That's nice ass fucking grass, dude.
I finally get to be like a raptor.
Yeah. Clever girl.
The detail is insane.
The first real gameplay segment is Abby. I just love the way the ground breaks. Did you see that? Yeah.
Wow.
It actually pulled back the bolt. Did you see that?
The AI of the enemies are incredibly smart. So many games I review get this wrong. It is one of the best AIs I've seen in a while. They rush you, they flank when they're supposed to, they flush you out, they use combined arms. It is exhilarating at times.
Oh, no. I don't know. No, they bumped it up. I knew it. Or maybe you did get it right. Oh! Is that a flanking maneuver? The AI just pulled a flanking maneuver on Joe. That's a girl, Joe. Don't be sexist.
That's an equal opportunity piece right there.
Oh, you're being flanked, Joe.
Why are you?
Again.
What are you doing?
Look at the red indicator.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought my partner was doing something.
No.
However, that same smartness, for some reason, does not apply to your AI companions. Dina, Jesse, Lev, etc. They just get in your way too much, and they feel even more useless than Ellie could be sometimes in the first game.
Down and press L R1.
Look out!
Dina. Dina. Dina, what the fuck?
Ain't no test. Fuck you, game.
No, that's not funny, chat. That's not funny,
I don't
chat.
get my Molotovs back?
No.
What? Oh, because the people are dead.
It's amazing. It's exactly what I want you to do. Fucking bitch!
Now that's funny. Now that's funny.
First, you're in my fucking way. I can't throw a Molotov. You don't tell me there's a clicker behind me. Oh, I hate this game.
Now, the collectibles in the game, they can be cool, but they're easy to make fun of when the heroes are stupid.
Is it a trading card? Like, yeah, it is. Kinnard, Esquire. We found one. A brilliant lawyer with a stringent adherence to the rule of law.
She's a good lawyer and has her friends on speed dial.
And that makes her a hero, Joe.
What? I got my friends on speed dial?
You know, you didn't know that, Joe? That's what it takes to be a hero.
Is that
2020.
Is it? It's more like a business card. Here's my business card. I'm a great lawyer.
Hell, even Neil found himself a way to put himself into the game. I know people say he's Manny, right? And I would agree symbolically that this is what Neil has done to the franchise and characters. Show it.
Our character now. Bullshit. And then there's Neil Druckmann right there.
But Manny is actually played by a completely different voice actor, Alejandro Ada. It's not the same person.
Burn. This is good. You two needed a bundle.
Shut up, Manny.
Yeah, everyone hates you, Manny. Everybody hates you.
The guitar mini game is cool. I've seen people do amazing things with it.
What?
But to me, it was just an outlet of my frustration by then.
And this game pisses me off to no end. Motherfucking Neil Druckmann ruins my game.
Puzzles are mostly gone here. Just tell me one innovative feature brought to the game here. Oh, you could prone. You can prone now.
Oh, shit!
Joe, your gameplay is always the most entertaining.
And in between these sections, you pop pills like a bodybuilder on steroids shooting up. I guess teaching kids that drugs are good. Hey, Captain America did it, so why not Last of Us? I mean, we need some reason for Abby's insane gains that make even other Joe blush. Her arms are so big, they're health indicators. Literally.
What the hell are you talking about?
Bro, you can tell how much damage Abby's taking from her arms, man. Her health indicators are arms, dude. The more blood she got on her arms, the more bullets and damage you're taking. Fucking hell. Jesus fucking Christ, Abby.
And why can I not pick up anyone else's gun that is far better than your piece of shit bolt action in this world? Yes! Oh, I'm gonna get a better gun! Yeah! Yes, Ellie, pick up the gun! Yes, pick up the gun! You drop that bolt action and pick up the assault rifle. No! No, Ellie, put the bolt action down now! Drop that! Drop it! No! Drop the assault, drop the bolt action! Yes! Now pick up the assault rifle. Oh my god, hell yes. Oh my god, this is gonna be so fucking awesome. Dude, we are going to fucking kill. Yes, take it. Take it. Oh my god, this is Ellie, what are you doing, Ellie? No, what are you doing, Ellie? No, Ellie, do not pick up, no! Put that bolt action down! Ellie! Pick up the motherfucking assault rifle! Ellie, don't shoot it! Ellie! Fuck! By the end of The Last of Us 2, I just didn't care anymore. And that sucks. I don't care about the characters left in the story. I don't care about where she's going. I don't care about what that other character's doing. I just don't care. Maybe The Last of Us should have stayed The Last of Us, or The Last of Them. And yes, the critics are gonna scream at me, you didn't understand, Joe. That's exactly what it is supposed to be. It is explained. It's explained. Just because something is explained does not make it good. In summary, I think the game has problems with its story, pacing, and characters. Really important things, and the ending. Stuff that matters to the franchise.
Now Ellie walks off alone, broken, a completely different person, unlikable. Nothing was resolved. Joel's death was not done any justice.
Broke a promise to Tommy.
Broke her promise to Tommy. Abby's story and love story pointless. I am too tired.
Are you out of your mind? The Last of Us 2 gets half of everything right. So right, in fact, that these are the best in the business, doing the best graphics, the best environments, the best animations, AI, and more in the industry. But unfortunately, the story group, the characters, the writing, the pacing of how it's told, and the ultimate conclusion make all those things feel like hollow victories here. Oh my God, but is it beautiful. The final verdict for The Last of Us Part 2 is a 6 out of 10. I would say a 5, average, but it gets those first things so right that it gets that small edge from me pushing it. But this game had so much more to live up to. When its previous game got 10 out of 10, we deserve better. In this franchise, I expect better. Neil took a gamble and, in my opinion, did not stick the landing. It honestly hurt my excitement for the future, of which I have no doubt that they're gonna continue to milk. We're gonna see a part 3, and I'm just not looking forward to it. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
Amazing flavors, over 40 of them.
Use code AngryJoe for 30% off your order. And maybe check out the new flavor.
Shit, I'm getting shot at. Dang, right behind you, Green.
What do you think about this Kanye running?
It's a conspiracy.
Supposedly he actually entered in and filled some paperwork for 2024.
2024.
I don't know if this is confirmed, but I saw it floating around. I think it may be BS, but he announced that he's running for president.
I think he's talking about 24.
Well, the reason I bring this up now is because there's a lot of people that are upset. I'm hearing people are upset that it's going to steal Biden's votes, right?
From the black community.
Right. And now it's funny because different people are getting angry at it for different reasons.
Right.
Okay, so we got people on the left that are like, how dare these racists say this? They're so racist to think that
that the black vote belongs to the Democrats.
The black vote belongs to Biden, that they would just, assume that just because Kanye's in, they're going to take it.
It's like Black Lives Matter activists who are saying this.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? You don't have to vote for Biden.
Right.
What's that assumption?
But they're claiming that the Republicans are saying that it's the Republican side that's making that argument. It's like they're mad at the Republicans.
Well, that's true though. There are a lot of Trump supporters who are saying that Kanye running will take votes away from Biden because Trump's base is not going to leave Trump.
Right. No, exactly. And the people who are voting for Biden, there was that poll that we talked about on Friday that they're not even voting for Biden, they're voting against Trump.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with Biden, really. It's just that they don't want to vote for Trump. Here's the reality. They would rather choose Kanye over Biden.
There was a poll put out by Political Polls on Twitter, and they just track all the different polling.
Right.
And they said, if you were voting today, who'd you pick, Trump, Biden, or Kanye? It was Trump in first place, then Biden, then Kanye. And the way I see it is, I think Kanye steals votes from both.
Yeah, I could see that.
But because Trump has the hardcore pro-Trump base, they will never abandon him.
Absolutely.
His advantage.
I agree.
Because Biden has no supporters, he just has anti-Trump people. Like, of course, there are some Biden supporters, but come on.
Yeah.
He got, 6 people to show up to, one of his, I'm not kidding.
I know, I saw it. Every time I think about that image, I just giggle.
He did a couple live streams that only got a few hundred people.
I know, it's sad.
That's insane. No one in this room right now is running for office, and we had, 56,000 people watching. It's like, if we can do that, and we're not interested in leading anyone's lives.
Put it in perspective,
that's
man.
really bad for Biden.
Wow.
Really bad. So here's what happens.
But the news was adamant about making sure everyone knew that 1 million people didn't show up in Tulsa. It's like, okay, great. But how many people showed up for Biden?
Biden's literally hiding in his basement. Spare me your concerns.
Seriously.
There's a lot of reasons. I think it's cause for concern that Trump couldn't muster the numbers he thought he was going to muster. That's fine. They don't seem to understand, though, that they pushed that hoax about TikTok kids.
Yeah.
It's like it's a first come first serve event. It's like you walk in the door, you get in the event. There's different reasons for why it didn't work out. But when I look at Kanye running, there are regular people who will be for Kanye, and that's the real risk.
I'm honestly interested to hear his platform.
I'd vote for him.
I want to hear. You'd vote for him before you even know his policies.
No.
It's like I want to know what he's talking about.
I know his policies.
Oh, okay.
So
do you?
I do, and I didn't say I will. I said I would. Meaning
semantics.
No.
Sure.
Let me clarify literally what I mean.
Okay.
Based on the things Kanye's already said, I would give him my vote.
Okay.
With some prerequisites. I didn't say I'm going to, or I will, or I plan on it.
Sure.
I'm saying that the door's not closed for Kanye West.
Okay.
A lot of people are going to look at Kanye and say, it's ridiculous. Why would you vote for him? No.
Yeah.
No, I would. He's got a lot to do.
He's a smart dude.
First of all, Kanye is an urban liberal. Yeah, he grew up in Chicago. He talks about social justice issues. I can dig that.
Yep.
And then he also talks about helping the American worker, bringing jobs back, and he talks a lot about things Trump has proposed. I said this, man, Kanye might be a unity candidate.
Yeah, okay.
Chicago urban liberal black man.
Yeah.
Who understands those issues, has concerns for supporting the black community, and is all about helping the American worker and wears the MAGA hat. That dude will win in a landslide. I'm not kidding.
No, I agree.
Because
I see it.
When he speaks, people listen, especially in the black community. And if Kanye comes out and he runs, I think he would just crush it.
Yep.
He would win. Could you imagine if he ran the Democratic ticket with a MAGA message, but having like a more moderate liberal approach?
I think the DNC don't want that though.
They couldn't stop Kanye West.
No, I know, but
First Lady
that's
Kim
why
Kardashian.
he would be an independent. He's not going to run as a Democrat. The DNC would be like, nope, sorry, we cannot control you.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Man. So there's a funny post where they were like, I can't remember what it was, but somebody was ragging on. No, they weren't ragging on Kanye. They brought up the absurdity.
Okay.
And then someone said like a celebrity candidate whose wife is famous for like smut and stuff like this, and it's like basically describing Kanye and Trump.
Okay.
That's why it's like, I believe if Kanye ran as a Democrat, he would win, hands down across the board, because Kanye is going to have the social justice message and the American worker MAGA message.
That's true.
Not perfectly. Republicans don't overwhelmingly support Kanye.
I don't think the DNC would have. Yeah, I don't think the DNC would have a choice.
They wouldn't be able to stop him.
It would just it'd be Kanye walking in the room and be like taking the mic.
Yep.
This is mine now. I'm not going to let you finish. I'm taking this and I'm going to go be president. Peace.
He would win. I think he would win. And people underestimate him.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake. When he first started talking about Trump and Candace Owens and stuff, I do research, man. I was reading what young black men were saying.
Yep.
There were arguments on Twitter where young black men were saying things like, "I got you, Kanye," like, "Yo, this Kanye's what it's all about." You know, I'm glad you're speaking up. A lot of people saying things like they didn't know about Trump, they didn't F around with him, but Kanye said it, and so they started looking into it. Now they're down. And there were a bunch of black women who were like, "Don't listen to Kanye, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about." And seeing these arguments was really interesting. That Kanye, look, man, some people might look at him. The establishment elites will mock and belittle him. The same thing they did to Trump.
Okay.
Ignoring what he's all about.
Yep.
Kanye is very much like Trump in a lot of ways.
I can see that.
He's an intelligent businessman. Now you can call him eccentric and crazy, but the dude clearly knows what he's doing, and he's smarter than you.
Yep.
Like, I don't see you becoming a billionaire. That dude has got talent.
Yeah, he is.
Now maybe he does some things wrong, but I think it's stupid. People think Donald Trump's a moron. I'm like, dude, come on, man. You can criticize the guy because he became a billionaire off of $1 million from his family, but he still became a billionaire.
Yeah.
You can criticize him for all these things in the world, but I don't see you doing the work he did to make it.
Not only that, he became a president of the United States.
Yeah, I love that when he said, he's like, "I ran for public office one time, and I became the president of the United States."
Boss.
Everyone's laughing, and I'm like, it's funny, man. He's a funny guy.
Yep.
Kanye West, he's got a lot of people who look at him like, he grew up in Chicago. He got the talent, he worked hard, he succeeded, and that success resonates with people because there are a lot of people who say, I want to be like him.
Yep.
Remember what was it like? The American dream was to be Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Is that a real quote?
I think so. It was in different rap songs for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, just be like Trump.
How many people?
It's insane.
See
How
his
it switched.
lifestyle, and they want that. You know what show the people like it. We had the show Lifestyle, the Rich and the Famous.
Yep.
Then we had Cribs.
Mhm.
People love to look at the extravagance and the success of wealthy, famous people.
Yep.
But a lot of these people strive to be that. They want to figure it out. They want that dream. Donald Trump came to these people and said, "Look at me and my golden toilets. You elect me, and I'll make sure every American's got a golden toilet from sea to shining sea." I'm exaggerating, but he said he'd boost the economy, and he did.
Yep, he
and then I
did.
talked to so many people who said the economy was better than ever. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I went to a furniture store, and I was buying some furniture. This table that we're using right now.
Yep.
And the lady I was talking to her, and she asked me what I did. And I said we do a political podcast, and then the conversation got into politics, and she basically said, "I don't know about too much of that stuff. What I do know is this has been the best year of my life in terms of income."
Wow.
I'm like, "Really?" And she goes, "It's crazy." She's like, the numbers are just nuts. People are buying stuff. The economy is great. I heard that over and over again from various people. When we had contractors coming to do some work, they were like, "It's been amazing for us. Just we're overbooked." I was trying to get a mini ramp built before this one, and every contractor I called was like, "We're booked up, man. We're booked up for 6 months." And I'm
Wow.
like, "Man, the economy's too good. Too good of economy."
I don't think that exists.
What? Too good of economy?
Too good.
Look, when I'm trying to hire someone to build something, and I gotta wait 6
Yeah.
months.
That is
I
too good.
actually, I kid you
Let
not.
me get my camera.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
And so I said to the guy, I was like, "Can I pay you extra? Like, I understand the demand is through the roof. What if we just up the cost?" It's like, "I'm locked in, man. I can't do it." And I'm
Well,
like,
good thing you hired a carpenter.
Well, so what I ended up doing
Little
was
do they know, I'm a carpenter.
I ordered a prefab ramp,
Yeah.
meaning they manufacture it in a facility and then ship the pallets out, like the big boxes.
Yeah.
And then I hired just some local handymen to come in, and it's like really, really simple instructions, so you don't need an actual carpenter or builder or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
The economy was great. So if Kanye West steps up, he's gonna have a lot of people who are just like, "I want to be like him."
Yep.
And they're gonna vote for him no matter what.
Yep.
He is a famous celebrity who has proven his own success. Isn't he? He's a billionaire, right?
I don't know about that, but
Can you look that up?
Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye.
He is.
Kanye's
Is he?
a billionaire.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Another billionaire president. I don't know. So here's what I mean when I say I would vote for Kanye. I saw him come out and talk about helping the American workers, setting up a factory in this country to produce his shoes, I think, here.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Actions speak louder than words.
Awesome.
And that alone means, the door is open. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. Not for him, not for Trump, not for anybody. But if it comes down to 2024, and you got Kanye West running on some ticket, and he's got a very pro-America, help the workers, help the middle class, and he talks about certain, more moderate liberal policies as a Chicago urban liberal, he's got a strong platform for a landslide victory.
Yeah,
he really does.
you're right. I agree.
I think he would win huge numbers.
I honestly, I would think he is serious about 2024.
I think so.
I think it's serious.
I love that when he was like, "What you laughing at?" Remember that?
Yeah, and it's like because he's probably serious.
Yeah,
he said
for
on
sure.
stage, he's like, "So when I run for president 2024, everyone starts laughing," and he goes, "Yo, what you laughing at?" I'm like, "Woo, President Kanye." And it's funny to see so many people offended by it. They're like, "It really is idiocracy if Kanye West gets elected." It's like, dude, look back in time.
Yeah.
You apparently don't know about some of our presidents, man.
Or the fact that they know him. They think that they know who he is just
Yeah.
because he is a celebrity on a pedestal that everyone can see, but you don't know him.
I just learned something about him
What?
from my quick Google search to make sure that
Oh.
I wasn't telling a lie about him being a billionaire. He owns almost $300,000 worth of livestock. Did you know that?
What? He's a farmer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what?
What kind of
That's
livestock?
cool. I don't know.
He's a billionaire, though, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Kanye West.
Yeah.
You know what's really offensive to me is how the left runs away with conspiracy theories and never gets called out for it. You get one, I'll tell you what. There was an article from the Washington Post that said, could COVID have broken out of a lab? And it talked about it was like South Beijing University, where they said that they were researching bats, and that's where COVID may have emerged from the bats in the lab, and they escaped. Not that it was manufactured. And I get all of a sudden these far leftists screaming Tim Pool's a conspiracy theorist because I read the Washington Post article on it. The left right now, high-profile leftists are screaming that Kanye West and Trump are conspiring to steal the black vote away from Biden.
Wow.
Which is racist
Yep.
and insane on its face.
Yep.
Could you imagine this? This is what I picture, and I love this image. It's like a thunderstorm, and like a car pulls up into like a secret corridor at the a tunnel into the White House, and Kanye like is like rushed out with a bunch of Secret Service agents. They open the door, they bring him into a dark room where like someone turns on a lamp, and it's Trump and Kanye, and Trump's like, "This meeting is off the record, never happened, no recordings." And then Kanye pulls out like a folder. Yo, here's a plan, y'all, and he opens it up, and then it's like, run for president. All the black people vote for Kanye. Biden loses, Trump wins. I'm like, do they think? I know it's silly, but like, do they actually think Kanye called Trump and he was like, "Hey, Trump, I'm going to help you win by running to steal the votes away from Biden"? That's insane. Even if it was just Kanye West calling Trump to do it.
Or you know, it's way more plausible that Kanye just is a Trump supporter, which they have been known to,
Dude, of course,
be bros. And Kanye was hanging out with Elon, and they're just like, "Man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just blast
stoned.
it out."
They're probably
That's what I said.
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
sure.
they probably smoked up together, just making fun of stuff. And Kanye was like, "What if I said I ran for president?"
No.
Elon's like, "Yes."
They're sitting there. They're both baked.
Yeah.
And Kanye goes, "Yo, Elon, you know I'm running for president." And Elon's like, "Shut up, man. You're not really running for president." And then Kanye's like, "Yo, I'm serious, bro." And he goes, "Then tweet it. Say you're doing it."
Yeah.
And then Kanye's like, "All right, I'll tweet it right now."
Elon being the meme lord that he is like,
and that's why Elon,
"This is the truest meme that I've ever done."
You saw they were hanging out.
Yeah. Orange Bros.
So then when he tweets, then Elon's like, "I got your back, buddy."
Yep.
And they're probably just
they're probably
baked.
sitting next to each other.
They're laughing. They're like high-fiving.
Yes.
2 billionaires.
Totally, man.
There was a funny post where someone was like, a sick joke played on the American people by billionaires, and I'm like,
okay,
well, like,
isn't that what the mainstream media is in
no,
general?
It's like Kanye West and Elon Musk laughing and joking about him running and tweeting it out.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't got to take it to a dark place. I think it's funny, man. It's really crazy when you see Elon, coming out, Kanye coming out, so many people. When you start to listen to what Trump has to say, who are these people who are so terrified of a Trump second election?
I don't
Criminals?
know. I honestly, I feel like everyone who screeches at me on Facebook, I just want to ask them, have they ever actually listened to any of Trump's speeches? Any one? Have you listened to one of his speeches?
No.
I have a feeling none of them have.
I think
none of them.
Here's my question. Do you support Joe Biden and the establishment Democrats? Yes or no? I'd be willing to bet overwhelmingly the answer is no. All right, here's my response to that. So you have an option right now to re-empower the corporate establishment Democrats, or let the bull rampage around inside the ivory tower for another 4 years. Do you really think the world will end in 4 years under Trump? If you really think Trump is all that bad, then don't you think 4 years of Trump will prove the corporate Democrats wrong, and then the progressives will be able to win? If Trump destroys everything, and you really believe he's the worst, and you don't have an opportunity to get your progressive or Bernie in right now, voting for Biden will put a Band-Aid over the wound, and they'll all go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But if Trump really is that bad,
No,
and he wins,
it won't put a Band-Aid. Sorry, I can't just let that flow. He's trying to keep the wound open. They're literally holding the wound open and saying, "This is what the world is like."
What I'm saying
everyone is like this.
What I'm saying is the establishment Democrats are failing. Putting them back in power allows them to shore up their strength and their base and prevent progressives from actually winning.
Right.
However, if you really believe Donald Trump is the worst ever, give him another 4 years. Let him prove he's the worst, and then you come back and say, "See, we warned you, America. Now it's time to get our progressive in," right? And if you don't agree with that and you think Trump is the best, then you vote for Trump. In the end, the best bet for any populist, left or right, at this point is a vote for Trump. Voting for Biden gives the establishment the reins again, and they will shore up all their defenses. They will bring in all of their cronies into the intelligence agencies and make sure no one ever shuts them out again.
Yep.
They fell off base. Here's what I want you to imagine. American Gladiators. Remember that show?
Loved that show.
Where they would fight with those
great
big
show.
Q-tips?
Awesome.
Here's what happened.
Shoot tennis balls at each other.
In 2016, the establishment was fighting with Trump, and Trump whacked one of the establishment guys in the face, and he's whoa, about to fall off.
Yep.
He's lost his balance. You vote for him, he gets his balance back. He shores up his defenses, and no one else can come in after the fact. If you let Trump knock him off and fall to the pit, they're out. You can claim Trump is worse than, and the worst they'll ever be, but I can't believe there are people actually advocating for Biden. Trump, and I think the problem is the propaganda for sure.
That's
because
what it is.
Trump is not that bad.
No, he's
at
not.
all. He did great by the economy. No new wars.
No, he's doing a great
conservative-
job.
You got the judges. That's the big risk for liberals, like moderate liberals, is that all the judges, the conservatives, are winning over this one. I'll tell you what, man. If I had the choice between far left revolutionary judges and a conservative judge, I'm picking the conservative. Why?
Same.
I'm not a revolutionary.
Yep.
I'm a reformist, and I will take slow progress over total collapse and the burning down of everything, because
Boom.
I do love this country.
Lydia agrees. I see her.
Yeah.
I see her shaking her head. Yeah.
And so that's that. It's the fault of the far left, because regular Americans, your average person, is like reluctantly pro-choice. They're like, okay, well, we don't want to celebrate, say, like abortion, but there's a rights issue, there's health issues, and we have to make sure we do this fairly.
Right.
But that's gone. That's completely gone. That argument is actually now on the moderate Republican side of the argument. You've got the pro-life, and then you've got the pro-life with some exceptions. Then you have the left, where it's like total abortion anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And so regular people are like, I guess I'll take some losses if it means not burning everything to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.
So chances are that you probably haven't heard about Crucible. For those who don't know, Amazon is trying to get into the video game business. They've established their own studio, and Crucible is sort of their first foray into AAA video game releases. And this is kind of what it looks like. This is a first look trailer from back in May 5th, 2020. The game has since released, but to middling reception. And for those who don't know what this game is, it's this hybrid of a hero shooter, a MOBA with some battle royale thrown in there. And the game's reception can be seen on Metacritic right here. The game released on May 20th, 2020. And looking at the Metascore and the user score, you can see that people generally don't enjoy this game. Aside from the fact that it was poorly marketed and nobody knew that it was going to come out on this day, when people did get a chance to get their hands on it, well, there were plenty of complaints. So a lot of it had to do with just interesting concepts that were poorly executed. So one of the big complaints is the map is absolutely huge, and there's just very slow movement that doesn't allow for fast traversal, so most of your time in game is spent just kind of running around and doing nothing. The map itself is very boring. There's not a lot to do in it. It's just kind of really empty. It's very expansive, but very shallow as well. Respawn times are a major complaint. It takes really long to get back into the action, and you also have to walk all the way back, which takes a long time because of the size of the map. Mechanics, combat, shooting in general don't feel great, don't feel fully refined. There's poor balancing of the heroes, with 3 game modes that have also been poorly balanced. Instead of them making one game mode that is fully refined, fully fleshed out, they did 3 game modes where they did not consider balancing for each. That uses the same map, by the way, so everything just kind of feels off. And the 3 modes are Alpha Hunters, which is just Battle Royale, 8 teams of 2. You've got Harvester Command, which is 2 teams of 8, and the goal is basically to control points across the map. And finally, you've got Heart of the Hives, which is the more popular mode, the one people seem to think has potential. It's 2 teams of 4. It is objective-based. It's MOBA-esque, like a little unique spin on MOBA, with PvE farming, and the whole point is to destroy 3 heart hives to win the game while fending off enemies. So that's the general summary of the game. But again, because of poor balancing, the huge map size, the way the game's been executed, while an interesting concept, it's just not fun to play. The game very clearly was sort of an alpha early access release that was put out there as a finished product. And so a lot of people took umbrage with that. A lot of AAA games seem to be doing that these days, and it's never worked out. I don't know why they keep doing this. Delay your game and release a good product, people will buy it and stay. Release a mediocre product, the audience base will fizzle out, which is exactly what's happened here. If you look at Steam, there's mixed reviews. Only 63 people review this game, which just goes to show how few people were interested in this title. In no small part, again, because of the awful marketing. The title Crucible, by the way, really awful choice. Crucible is associated with Destiny. You look up Crucible on Google, you'll only see Destiny results, so the name itself was just a poor choice all around. But the real indicator of the game's performance is Steam charts. You look at it right now and you'll see that it had a pretty good start with an initial all-time peak of 10,600 players. So people are curious about the game, but the audience base has fizzled out since. In June of 2020, there was an average number of players of 360. Now you look at how many people play the game. The past 24-hour the peak has been 99 playing. As of an hour ago, 90 players. We're down to double digits at this point, and all of this points to signs of a game that's as good as dead. Now, as a result of all of this, the developers have taken some drastic measures, starting with what was reported here in a blog post on the official Crucible website back in June 4th, 2020. One of the things they noticed was that Heart of the Hives was the more popular mode, the one again that people seem to think has the most potential. So seeing all the feedback and seeing how all of these 3 modes were not well balanced, they decided that they would just focus on one, Heart of the Hives. It reads right here, focusing on one mode allows us to refine the design of core systems without the compromises we needed to make to support 3 game modes. This does mean that we'll be retiring Harvester Command and Alpha Hunters for the foreseeable future. We'll be removing Alpha Hunters from the list of game modes soon, and Harvester Command once our new player experience has been improved. So they're saying, let's get rid of the Battle Royale mode and the Control Points mode and focus on the unique twist we did on MOBA that was poorly executed. Focus on refining that. Goes to show, by the way, throwing Battle Royale into anything does not guarantee its success. You need to have your own unique identity. It needs to be a compelling experience, and the market is more and more saturated than ever. You really have to stand out from the crowd if you want to succeed as a Battle Royale endeavor. Crucible just wasn't it. The Battle Royale felt like a half-assed endeavor. But then fast forward to June 30th, 2020, and the developers have taken another drastic step in their attempt to improve the experience. So it reads right here, starting tomorrow, Crucible is moving to closed beta. We'll continue following the roadmap we laid out previously and working on map, combat, and system changes to improve the Heart of the Hives experience, as well as implementing other improvements based on your feedback and what we think the game needs in order to thrive. So keep in mind that this is a game that came out. It released officially. It's on version 1.0. This is, I don't know if I've seen this before, a AAA release that flopped so hard, that died so quickly, that it literally unreleased and went back to beta. Honestly, beta is the proper descriptor for the state of the game, but just still seeing a game literally unrelease because of how badly marketed and how badly executed it was, I mean, that's a whole nother level. This is not a good look for Amazon Game Studios. Again, this is their first foray into a AAA video game release, and they try to sort of cash in on the popularity of multiple multiplayer modes like Battle Royale and MOBA and some of the stuff you'd find in like first-person shooters. But instead of ensuring the highest quality possible, what they did instead was pull a live service. Live services give developers this idea, this safety net that they can release a half-baked product and improve it down the line. The way Todd Howard put it was that, well, it doesn't matter how a game releases, it matters how it ends up. But that's not necessarily the case, as Crucible indicates here. And same thing with other titles that flopped hard at launch because people felt like the game that they bought was a ripoff, that they were cheated. They thought with, the $60 plus expenditure that they were going to get a true, polished, fully fleshed AAA experience, but you see games like Anthem that flopped so hard, with all of the false marketing that went behind it. It looked amazing in the early gameplay trailers, but then at launch, it was nothing quite like that. And now nobody's watching this game on Twitch. Nobody's playing this game. It is as good as dead right now. It's on life support. And they are working on an overhaul, but whether that's enough to make this game see a resurgence, hard to say for sure. You've got games like Artifact that has an all-time peak of 60,000 players. Back in December, the peak was at 46,000. And so the game had a good initial start, but developers didn't evolve the game enough or improve the game enough, and so the player base dipped significantly, and now we're down to single digits again, and this game is as good as dead now. And now with Crucible being at double digits just a month or two after launch, let me tell you, I don't know if this is a game that can be resurrected. I think the developers are making the right moves here. They're actually taking the feedback and running with it. They are keeping in mind that there is one mode that people really liked and focusing on that and trying to rebalance everything and actually trying to finish the game, actually trying to polish the game. But I fear it might be too little too late at this point. When the player base gets this low, those are not good signs. Again, with Artifact, developers tried to do the same where they looked at the feedback and went, oh crap, we released a not so great game and now we're going to do our best to overhaul it and change it and whatnot. But even when they tried, they could not bolster that player base because it had already made its first impression. And Crucible has made its first impression, which is that it's just not a compelling experience. And they really have to pull nothing short of a re-release, major overhaul for even the remotest chance of seeing a comeback. So Crucible right now is just facing an uphill battle, and this is what you get when you rush a product to launch. It never ever really fully works out. It always leads to disappointment, especially if you're trying to pursue a live service that's supposed to have long legs, stretch itself across multiple years. It needs to have a good foundation, and Crucible simply does not have that. They're now, after launch, building the foundation. And that's why you have results like this, where 10,000 people check it out and only 90 people stay. When will AAA publishers and developers learn? Do not listen to the likes of Todd Howard when he says that it doesn't matter how a game launches. What matters is how it finishes and how it evolves over time. It matters both how it launches and how it finishes. You can establish a solid foundation and release a solid product with polish and evolve from there at the same time. It's not one or the other. Those are not mutually exclusive. And until AAA developers learn that, they're gonna see failures like this, especially when you're a brand new game studio like Amazon Game Studios, especially when you poorly market your game, and especially when you're putting a new IP out there that is unproven. Unfortunately, there are IPs that can kind of get away with it because the title, the brand sells itself. Battlefield 5, despite the disappointment that it was, sold a good amount. It sold millions of copies, even though it had very short legs because so many players were disappointed by it. But it still sold a lot because the Battlefield brand carries a certain weight with it. Star Wars Battlefront 2, its sales disappointed, but it still sold like 8 million copies because of the Star Wars brand. Crucible is an unknown brand. Anthem is an unknown brand. And both of these games decided that they could release an unpolished product and fix it down the line, thinking, people will stay. And, eventually it'll be a good game. Eventually we'll finish the game. And people will be along for the journey. But no, people have limited time. There's only so much time they can spend on one game, and if your game doesn't stand out from the pack, then it's finito. And that's what's going on with Crucible right now. There are games that have made incredible comebacks, but with Crucible, again, with what a new IP it is coming from a brand new game studio, and with how middling the reception was, with how poor the marketing is, I don't know. This is one of those prospects that I do not have high hopes for. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. These are my thoughts on what's going on with Crucible and how it represents so much of what's wrong with AAA live service releases that release half-baked. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
Let me tell you. See you soon.
Hey everybody, and welcome to AJS News. This is the second video that we've got this week.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
They're chilling.
I went down there where you were just at, Ethan. I went through that tunnel.
Yeah.
As soon as the right side throws one punch, every camera, boom, that's the front page of every newspaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't care if it's the left that's throwing punches.
So here's what CNN writes. June 11th. Here's the real danger if Donald Trump loses the 2020 election.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
Yeah, the first paragraph is the only thing I'm really concerned about. Joe Biden said Wednesday night that he believes if President Donald Trump loses the election and refuses to leave the White House, many of the former generals who used to work for him, quote, will escort him from the White House with great dispatch.
Cool. Something Joe Biden believes. Great news.
And what?
Great news.
And so Biden's giving you this like, dude, these people live in an action movie.
Yeah.
It's just not real life.
It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. It's a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been saying that they've glorified movies, and we've turned our heroes into fake characters, and that's what real life is to them. Their reality is based on movies and books.
Yep.
There's always a bad guy. There always has to be a bad guy. And right now, it's like, well, they've presented Donald Trump was like on a silver platter for them. Like, oh, perfect. We have the perfect bad guy.
He's gonna. How old is he? He's about to be 80.
Oh, like Biden?
No, Trump.
73.
Isn't he 74?
Oh, 74. Oh man, I'm way off. Biden's about to be 80.
Biden's 78.
Anyway, all right. I got his age wrong, but the point I was gonna make is, even Trump is an old man. He's not gonna like rip his shirt off and then go like Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting the generals. Like, what do they think's gonna happen?
I know. Like he's gonna mobilize like the army in front of the White House and like fight American citizens? No. There's a reason he didn't send people into Seattle, because he didn't. The optics that we were just talking about, that's terrible.
But also
that's
authority.
what the Democrats wanted him to do.
They want him to be a dictator, but he's not.
Exactly, he's not.
So they keep acting like Trump is a fascist, and he's barely using his power.
Yeah.
So it's like they think, it's going to be November 4th, like 3 in the morning. The results have come in. Trump loses narrowly, and then he's going to be in the Oval Office, and his loyalists are going to be like, it's the generals. They're outside to remove you. What do we do? And then he rips his shirt off, and he's got like dual holsters, and he's like, we're not going anywhere. And he starts like, what do they think's going to happen? He's
probably exactly that, Tim. I'm not joking.
Alex Jones comes out of the roof.
Yeah.
I'm with you right now, Mr. President.
He comes out of a cabinet. Like, what? Alex Jones, you've been there the whole time? Yes.
Well, he's
takes off the tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the information.
No. He puts the tinfoil hat on.
Oh, yeah. Just so
protection.
Protection.
He's about to engage in a battle, and then the generals come in with their mind control device, and they're like cranking the wheel, but Alex Jones is like, they can't stop him.
This just makes me think. I can't wait. I am seriously looking forward to the debate.
A day later.
The debate between Trump and Biden, man. Oof.
But wait, hold on to that.
I can't wait. All right, I will.
A day after that article comes out. Well, hold on, I got to show you a little bit more, right? They say the comments which Biden made in an interview with Trevor Noah on The Daily Show are not the first time that the former president and presumptive nominee, well, he's the nominee, has suggested that he believes the incumbent may well seek to fiddle with the results. Quote, mark my words, fat. I think he's going to try to kick back the election somehow, come up with some rationale why it can't be held, Biden said in April. But the real danger here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but here, a day later, this is what we get.
Trump says he will do other things if he loses the election. It's so boring.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a specific noun to represent what he would do.
He's like, are you kidding me? I have all these businesses that
He's
I've been
gonna
not working on. Like, I'm gonna go build buildings and places. Like, what? Put my name on them. That's what he does.
So let's dip our toes into real life.
Yeah, please.
U.S. President Donald Trump said he will go on to do other things if he loses the November 3rd election, after Democratic opponent Joe Biden said the Republican might cheat and refuse to leave the White House. Quote,
man.
Certainly if I don't win, I don't win. I mean, go on and do other things, Trump told Fox News.
I'm just looking at that ballot. You guys can't see this, but there's a ballot that came to our house.
Yep.
We've
And
talked about
we
this
couldn't
before.
vote today.
Yeah. So there's some stuff going on, and I can see that ballot from here. That's not for anyone that lives here.
But none of us got our ballots.
And none of us got ballots. So that's an issue. And it's weird that they're painting this picture like Trump is going to cheat. Trump is the one who's going to cheat. I'm just like, why are you saying that so much?
But the reality is Trump's response is very boring.
Exactly.
Like, everything about Trump has been so much more boring than they've tried to claim.
And then what's up with this? I keep seeing this. Pop up. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
wait, there we go. There
so
we go.
the presumptive Democratic
because they haven't had the
presidential
convention yet.
Come, is he not, or is it Hillary?
Well, I guess they
just make up your mind.
They can't
DNC.
say it. They can't say it.
Why not? What are they? What?
Because they haven't
Middle of August or something?
Yeah.
When the DNC
End of
officially declares he's the only one.
Because they're going to say Hillary or something.
Yep.
No, I think it's be Cuomo maybe.
No way.
I have to wonder, man. Are they really helping Trump win? Like, I don't believe it. I think about what people and moderates are saying right now. They feel like Trump can't win. They're scared. They're losing their country, and then all of a sudden Trump pulls an upset, and everyone feels inspired. Like, I'll tell you what, man. I've been thinking this since Trump won in the first place, where it's like, actually, it's not even on me. There's a conspiracy theory that Trump is part of the deep state.
Okay.
There's a conspiracy theory, mind you. I'm not saying it's true. The idea is that you look at these photos of Trump and Hillary together.
Mhm.
You look at these photos of like Trump and Epstein together. And so there's a conspiracy theory that Trump is a global billionaire elite, but he was propped up as an outsider, still part of their elite circle, so that he can get all of the anti-government, anti-establishment types normally would be opposed, now cheering for him. Hold on. Alex Jones. This is the funniest thing. I remember Alex Jones, like, very anti-government. All of a sudden now he's very pro-Trump, right? So what do you end up with? You end up with a lot of these people who are anti-government now actively supporting the federal government because Trump is in there. It is forcing people to engage. That's the conspiracy theory.
Okay.
They have used Trump to increase civic engagement. People were disenfranchised, had no confidence in government, weren't voting. All of a sudden, now they're voting. All of a sudden, everybody's involved. Sports teams are gone. Everybody's in politics now.
It's true.
If people stopped caring about the government and stopped paying attention, they would lose confidence in it, and it would just fall apart. So there are some people who believe what we're seeing right now is meant to make it seem like Trump is the outsider underdog, and he wins, and it restores people's faith in the ability to save their country. But you don't think so? You gotta look at your face.
Whoa, no. There is things about what you just said that I agree with, and things that make me smirk and giggle a little bit. The fact that they would think that he's part of the deep state, because I mean, if you haven't noticed, I've been doing a lot of research, and I'm furthering myself. I know a lot more than I did a few months ago, and one of those things that I've been researching is Trump. I want to know about the president, and I'm like finding out all these things about him that do not fit that narrative. Like that whole deep state thing. It's just,
why not?
I mean, he funded Jesse Jackson's run for president in the 90s. Do you know that? Like, I didn't know that. That's some new information.
How does that mean he's not deep state?
Well, I mean, he's a civil rights activist. Like, he cares about the people that are that do work.
But there are a lot of Democrats that are pro-establishment that are civil rights activists.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the argument of him being the deep state, it's like you can say anyone is. They can say that I am. Like anyone could be. It could be a conspiracy, but like I have yet to see any sort of proof of that sort. All I see is him being a humanitarian. Actually, like the things that he's done. Before he even ran for office.
It reminds me of the South Park episode on the 9/11 Truth Movement.
Okay.
Where the government
The real conspiracy was that the government was trying to convince everyone there's a conspiracy so that people think they're in control of everything. And then at the end, Kyle and Stan like realize, and George W. Bush is there, and they're like, wait a minute, you're lying? There is no conspiracy? You made the conspiracy up? And then there's like, he gives an explanation where he's like, we need people to think that we are all powerful. Otherwise, they actually will threaten us. I mean, come on. What if we told people that we actually lost control and a group of people in the cave were able to attack us and get away with it?
Yeah.
We can't have that. So we need people to think, you know, like it's a funny thought.
Well, I always thought that America doesn't negotiate with terrorists. That's true, right? You've made it clear.
I'm pretty sure,
And
yeah.
you've explained why.
Well, the kidnappers, at least in like, you know, foreign countries.
I know, but the statement goes, America does not negotiate with terrorists, period. And I'm fairly certain every single person in America has just watched these people just terrorize and rip statues down and take over. And
they fell on bent knee.
Yeah,
said,
it's
my
insane.
liege.
No, well, not everybody. You know, certainly not me, not you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's leaning towards the Democrats, to the Democratic side of things, but
dude, I'm not confident. I'm not, because the propaganda is so thick.
I agree.
And it's hard to break through.
Oh,
like,
I'm seeing it, man. On Facebook especially.
It's on Facebook, right?
With people that I don't associate with anymore. I've cut them out of my life. It's insane. The things they've said to me.
What the far left does to get away, it's brilliant. We talked about this the other day, the death by 1,000 cuts.
Yep.
I think I don't know if I have it. I do actually have this this article. It's called Creeping Normalcy. Creeping Normality, sorry. And it's the psychological idea of death by 1,000 cuts, a process by which a major change can be accepted as normal and acceptable if it happens slowly through small, often unnoticeable increments of change. The change could otherwise be regarded as objectionable if it took place in a single step or short period.
So the eBay color.
Yes.
Exactly, the
Was
eBay
it Creeping
color.
Normality? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Creeping Normality.
For those who don't know, eBay changed its colors, and everyone freaked out. And then they switched it back right away, and then slowly over a year, right? Over a year.
They added like one shade of white.
One shade.
And
different.
no one noticed that a year later it was the whole website had changed color.
Yep.
So this is what the far left has done very effectively, and it's funny when like there's a post going around from, oh man, I got a sidetrack real quick. There's a dude I know that I worked with, and he was a normal journalist, regular guy, not overly political. And he was trying to find his path, and he found something interesting one day when he responded to Donald Trump on Twitter.
Oh my.
He said something kind of not too crazy, and he got a ton of followers. And then he started doing it more and more.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he had 10,000 followers. And then I started talking to him about it, and I was like, bro, I think you should knock this off, because these people aren't like real followers. You're not building a brand. You're actually becoming a laughingstock of the left and the right. Like, you're going to have no respect from people. You're going to lose your job. And he was like, I'm gaining a ton of followers, man. Like, people really like this. I was like, no, they don't.
Dopamine kicks.
Yeah. There are people on the right who started posting edgy memes, then started posting really offensive memes, but found that fringe group that kept cheering for them every time they would post something really, really edgy.
Yeah.
And then eventually they were just off the deep end and then banned outright, because they went too far. The same thing happens on the left with like becoming a reply guy. And this person just goes off the deep end, slowly replying more and more, getting more followers, until finally they have a horrifying nickname, no respect, their career is over, and they're literally just the butt of a joke.
Yep.
So I forgot what the point I was going to make is before I got wrapped up on that.
I knew you would.
Yeah, because I was like, I gotta mention this part, because the reply guy thing really gets to me. You want people to smash the like button.
Do it.
That's all.
It's your punching
Smash
bag.
it. Smash it.
Smash it.
I love you.
But that's the career choice for some of these people, man. Yeah. What were we talking about before I went off on that
I don't
tangent?
know. Biden.
Creeping normality.
Creeping normality.
Yeah.
So I was talking to, the reason I brought this guy up was because there's a meme by him, and people share it.
Okay.
Because, you know, he's a reply guy.
Yeah.
And basically I got into a conversation about whether or not there is a far left in this country.
Okay.
Of course there is. The Democratic Socialists of America have over 70,000 members by latest reported numbers.
Yeah.
These are people who hold their meetings where, have you seen the DSA video?
Which one?
The one where they're like, point of personal privilege. Hi, my name is Tim, he, him. I just want to point out that the chattering in this room is really triggering, and I'm tired of people. Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh, it's.
I don't know if I want to. Though.
And then
I gotta watch it.
It's
I wanna
so
watch everything.
it's so funny because like, the guy gets up and he goes, "Point of personal privilege. Could please keep the chatter to a minimum, guys, please." And then as soon as he says "guys," you see someone get up and then go up to the microphone and go, "Stop using gendered language." That's actually what happened.
Wait. This isn't. I'm sorry. Wait. This wasn't like Saturday Night Live.
It's real.
It wasn't
It's real.
parody.
It's real.
Yeah. See,
It went viral. Everybody made fun of it.
Well,
but listen.
Not surprising. I mean, because it would something SNL would do to make fun of.
We got to talk about the effectiveness of the insidiousness of what the far left has been able to accomplish. What is far left in terms of economic, the economic scale? Far left is cooperative. Far right is competitive.
Okay.
So if the further left you go in terms of cooperative markets, it's communism, and the further right you go in terms of competitive markets, it's laissez-faire capitalism. So if you had someone who said, "I think we should have a mixed economy," that's what America is. We're a mixed economy.
Yeah.
A large portion of our income goes in taxes, but then we have money of our choosing to spend, and so you have a bit of a command economy, but sort of a free market.
Yeah.
We lean slightly to the right in terms of our market structure. So what would far left be? From where we're standing, you could argue that far left relative to here is like if we taxed people at 75% or 80%. That would be far left.
That's a lot.
If you want to talk about literal, the farthest left you can go, it would be over communism.
Yeah.
The
You don't even get paid. You just do your job and everyone gets the same amount of food, same amount of whatever.
Right. Well, I love these conversations I've had with people about this stuff. I actually got into it. I got into it with the British Socialist Party.
Oh goodness!
And boy, did it not work out well for them. Of course.
Yeah.
But so does the far left exist? Yes, there is a large group of people, 70,000 plus, not the biggest organization in the world, that advocate for abolishing capitalism outright. You can't go further left than that. That's it. On the economic scale, at least.
Right.
On the cultural scale, there is no real far. I'm sorry. There, no. On the economic scale, there's no far right.
Okay.
There's like Luke Rudkowski, I mentioned him earlier. There you go. You have a small group of like libertarian, like right-wing libertarian ANCAPs, but in terms of the major, large factions, not a particularly large group of right-wing, full-on laissez-faire capitalists relative to everything else. So, what people call far right in this country is typically cultural far right, meaning traditionalist, and typically economically left. A lot of the people that have been called far right hold left-wing economic policy views. So they're basically posting these memes where they say there's no far left in this country. And then I say, well, certainly the DSA is far left, right? They propose abolishing profit. Like, there's like they don't even know what profit means if they're going to say that.
Yeah.
They're basically trying to get rid of all monetary transactions, abolish capitalism, abolish police, abolish prisons, complete open borders, total globalization stuff. You can't get further left than these people.
No.
So yes, they literally exist. And there's a different question as to whether or not the left is more dangerous than the right, but I would say that the left is more effective in terms of their long-term strategy, which is psychological manipulation.
Like Ilhan Omar's speech.
Well,
emotional.
Yes. The
but
one where
subtly mentioning that we need to take down everything.
But she did it in a clever way. So for those who are not familiar, Ilhan Omar said that we need to dismantle systems of oppression.
Yeah.
And she said so long as the economic and political system of this country creates inequality, exists, it'll create inequality, and we must dismantle these systems of oppression wherever they exist. Something like that.
Yeah, basically.
So this is the clever this is a standard clever political tactic where if she came out right now and said, "I would like to completely end capitalism and destroy the American government."
So
people would be like,
would you call that creeping normality?
yes.
That's
exactly
I'm
the
just
point.
asking the question.
No, she wasn't asking the question. She said it, but she made sure to say it in a way where she could have apologists defend her.
Right.
That's why I brought it up.
She didn't say destroy. She was saying oppression.
Right. But she also made a point that it was like it's not just the police systems.
It's politics. It's
and then
economics.
because she stated that, and then she's continued on saying it's not just that, it's all forms of oppression, no matter where they lie. And it's like, what do you mean by that? What exactly are you talking about?
Well, so here's what worries me a bit. There's no, as far as I can tell, legit far right with political power. It's just not a thing. They say, oh, but Donald Trump. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
He's a moderate. He's in the middle.
And the worst things about him you can criticize, but it's not policy. It's his behavior, it's his attitude, and stuff like
tact,
that.
right.
But if we're going to go based on not our personal standards, I defer to Vox.com. Matthew Iglesias saying Trump was a moderate. And you look at the New York Times scale, and it says the Republicans are center right, not far right.
Yep.
So here's what the left does. It's very clever. They have allies in media. They seed fake news. They create as many lies as possible to smear and defame you. And they all keep saying the lie over and over and over again. It works. So there are a few people that I'm friends with that I would consider progressive or leftist. Whenever I try and have a conversation publicly on like a Facebook comment, all of a sudden these far leftists will immediately jam up the entire conversation so everyone leaves. They make sure no one can talk.
Yep.
They start saying nonsensical things, name calling, they screech, they make threats, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, I'm out, I'm out.
You want to know what I was told today? I tweeted this out earlier. Here, let me read it. I was blown away. I mean, I've referenced this conversation, this thread that I've had. It all started from me just saying, Happy July 4th to all my fellow Americans. I know we're not perfect, but 244 years ago we laid the groundwork to fix anything that needs fixing, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
to live free.
To live free. And people just started freaking out and attacking me, which led to this one particular person said this to me, said, let us lead. Let us tell you what we need without you having a dissenting opinion or arguing with us, period. Just listen to us without speaking for once, amplify our voices, and do what we are telling you we need you to do, period.
Well, that's the superliminal, to quote The Simpsons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know the Simpsons reference, but it's that episode where Bart is in that boy band, and they're singing Ivan et Niage, which is join the Navy backwards, not a very particularly hidden message.
I think it's the first
and then
one
when
I
Lisa
ever
finds out, she talks to like the band manager, who's actually a recruiter, who's like, we have 3 strategies: subliminal, liminal, and superliminal. And then she's like, superliminal, and he goes, yes. And then he opens a window and yells to Lenny and Carl, hey you, join the Navy. And they're like, okay. And then like later you see them getting on the bus, like joining the Navy or something like that.
Yeah.
But that like what they're telling you right there is overt. They're
Right.
telling you to your face. They're telling you we've taken the ground, and we can pull the mask off and just tell you outright, you are to be subjugated by us.
That's what
you
I'm
will
saying.
do as you're told.
It's like, no way.
But so how do they get other people to support them and stand behind their calls to action? These are the tactics used by the far left to suppress cancel culture, for one. We will destroy your job. I actually had a guy threaten to call my employer today, and it was like, I'm not kidding.
That's amazing.
Did you just give him the number?
I was like, do you know anything about me?
Do you realize who I am?
So listen, I got into I had a really great conversation actually with so on a Facebook post with somebody I know. We've had a lot of great conversations.
Mm-hmm.
This person's rather progressive. And then sometimes we'll take it to like a private messenger, and I'll be like, that was a really great point. I appreciate your time. And then we're like, have a nice day. So I made a comment about the far left being legit, a real threat, the things they've asked for. And somebody responded who was extremely out of his mind. And so I just ignored it. Another guy responded, made some really good points about the existence of the far left and the far right, pointing out the Democratic Party right now, and for a long time, has never been ideological.
Okay.
And the conservatives, the Republican Party, has actually been ideological for a long time, meaning that the Republican Party has conservatives. They rally around and their ideologies, their view of America, their beliefs.
Traditional.
And to an extent, right?
Yeah.
But typically it's basically like this idea of America first, Trumpism, they're unified. The Democrats are a loose coalition of random groups that kind of just agree to vote certain ways if it benefits them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's actually a good point. If you look at the Hidden Tribes report, you'll see that conservatives are 25% of this country, progressives are 8%. And then most people who vote Democrat are exhausted majority, they say, or default or uninitiated.
Okay.
The average person voting Democrat isn't really active or paying attention. And so what they argued was...
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
They argued that...
I was.
Now that the Democratic Party has found an ideology, it's starting to grow and become more visible. And I'm like, it didn't completely disagree with the point I was making. But it made it, this individual made a good point. We had a great conversation.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that's actually really, really smart. Showed me data and everything. And I'm like, I completely agree.
Yeah.
There was a really interesting point about the Democratic Party coming from the Civil War and how they've always voted for what was considered to be more progressive, regardless of what progressive meant. At a certain point, progressive meant eugenics in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So the Republican Party, based on this graph that was sent to me by a political researcher, this guy was a researcher, really fascinating. The Republican Party has always been slightly conservative. Always. But the definition of conservative changes. They've just stayed true to, like, in terms of the relative society, the Democrats fluctuate like crazy, and the Republicans kind of stay where they are.
Okay.
So even to this day, they are not far right. They've never been far right. They've always been fairly, moderate.
Yeah.
And we see that we see that data presented by Pew Research, for instance. But anyway, this other guy, man.
Oh yeah. Tell
He's
me about
like,
it.
you will be first against the wall.
Wow.
Wait,
This again.
wait until it happens. Blah blah blah. And then out of nowhere, he's like, and he's like, you should be afraid, and I'm going to call your employers. I said, I'm going to call the people who employ you. And I was like, there it is. This guy doesn't know who I am at all.
Cancel culture. I'm coming after you, Tim.
That was
Try
a
that
threat.
with me.
Listen.
Try to call my employer. Get me canceled.
This is the point.
Good luck.
This is the point I'm making about the far left and their tactics.
Yeah.
Cancel culture is real. They know it's real, and they know they can go to the average person and say, I'm going to call your boss, and they'll get scared.
Yep.
And they'll be like, no, please.
And that's why all the polls say Biden's winning.
Perhaps.
Because everyone's like, yeah, I'm voting for Biden. Click.
I loved it, though. I was like, who employs me?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I wish someone would try that with me.
You call me?
I'd be like, here you go. Here's his number.
Yep.
I wouldn't give out your number.
You know what I would do if someone tried canceling you or Lydia or anybody?
Yeah,
What? Tell us,
Yeah,
please.
I insist.
You'd smash the like button?
No.
Here you go. We got.
I would
no?
respond
Oh.
by saying, sir or madam, I take these concerns very seriously. I am shocked that those words would come out of Adam's mouth, and he never told me. I'm going to give him a raise. I'm really impressed with what he was saying.
Didn't Cassandra get a raise for from her paper?
Oh yeah.
She did, yeah.
So for those that don't know, Cassandra Fairbanks works for Gateway Pundit, but she also has her own paper. And like someone threatened to cancel her.
They hit up the paper.
Yeah, they
were bombarding her paper.
Her own
Cancel Cassandra.
And she responded from her corporate account saying, we're shocked and appalled by this. We're absolutely going to take action immediately by giving her a raise and a bunch of exclamation points.
Genius.
Yeah, but here's the point I'm making, right? They know, like we mentioned, creeping normality.
Yeah.
The far left knows they can threaten you with violence, and you can do anything. Here's what they do. They don't say something like, I will hurt you.
Right.
What they say is, next time I see you, you should be very worried about the people who and what they'll do to you. They make sure they don't cross the line to making an overt threat.
Yes, an indirect threat.
But
basically.
they want you to feel threatened.
Right.
And actually, this person may have broken the law because of the jurisdiction they're in. But then they do things like cancel culture. Hey, I'm also going to call your boss. What am I supposed to say to that? Even if I had a job, let's say I worked at McDonald's, am I going to be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, I agree with you now.
Right.
I will delete my posts. Like, what do they think is going to happen? But it shows
That
they
doesn't
really
work,
do
though.
view this low tier terrorism as an effective tool. It's death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, cancel culture.
We're
It's their new machine gun.
We are at a point now where they know you can't call their boss because they won't do anything.
Yeah.
Like the easiest example, you got a video of a dude walking with his 6-year-old daughter in New York City.
Terrible video.
Shot, killed. No riots, no protests, no brand message.
Nope.
No flags, no Facebook, nothing. Because if it doesn't fit their institutional control, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that
know.
really pisses me off. That video tears me apart. That tore me up watching that video.
Yeah, it's messed up. So here's what happens. If you are not in league with their ideology, and if I were to call this guy's boss and say he's threatening me, they're going to be like, I don't care.
I told someone about that. I was making these I was having a private conversation with somebody from this thread, who is a closer friend of mine, talking about these things that are happening, and he didn't believe it. Where did you get your information from?
Yeah.
I saw the video with my own eyes. Oh, on YouTube? You saw it on YouTube? Well, YouTube is an incredible source. It's more of a social media platform. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I saw the video. I watched the girl run away.
Yeah.
Like, how is that? How is that not like something that actually happened? How? Explain to me why you're not in outrage right now.
Because
change can happen.
They want to hear from some woke journalist that it happened.
Yeah.
And they'll believe it.
Yeah.
Well, so here's what happens. If I call this guy's boss and say he's threatening me, they're going to be like, I'm sorry about that, but what do you want us to do about it? If he calls
you know, like a theater worker's boss, for instance,
Mhm.
and says they were, you know, saying all these things, you know, the theater is going to be like, we're so sorry, we'll fire them immediately. Because they, you know, people know what you're allowed to criticize and what you're not allowed to criticize. Case in point, let me see if I have this tweet right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now legal for you to paint a political message that supports Black Lives Matter, and if you paint over it, that is a hate crime. We now have this breaking story from KCBS 106.9. The Martinez couple caught on video painting over the approved Black Lives Matter mural are being charged with a hate crime. That's from the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office. Yep, hate crime.
Wow.
It is a hate crime. So here's my concern. First, the mural was approved by the city.
Yep.
Why is the city approving people's right to paint on the street?
Yeah, I don't understand it. What pisses me off is, we talked about this yesterday after the show. You can burn an American flag legally.
Yep.
But if you burn a rainbow flag,
it's a hate crime.
That's a hate crime.
Yes, it is.
How is burning an American flag not a hate crime? You are basically saying you hate America.
That's not what hate crime means.
Oh, minorities, right? Is that what it is?
Protected classes.
Protected classes.
Yep. So if you burn an American flag, they will cheer for you and say free speech, and if you burn a rainbow flag, they will say hate speech. It's a hate crime. So that's actually because the argument is
outrageous.
That by burning the rainbow flag, you're intimidating a protected class. So there is a difference, though. I want to make sure I'm clear. In the specific case where this came up, it was because the guy burned the rainbow flag and then threw it in front of a gay bar, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so they argued that was, you know, intimidation. However, the argument is that people routinely burn flags at public events for people who support America, and it's not. So there's got to be.
Yeah. Well, what's a bigger platform than the internet now? That is the largest platform that we have access to. Everyone has access to it. So it's much bigger than one bar. It reaches everybody. Anyone can share it, and it can reach anyone. So what's the difference? It's a hate crime.
The burning the American flag?
All of them.
Well,
either make it all illegal or none of it.
National origin is a protected class.
Oh, like American.
So then it is a hate crime.
So if you're burning the American flag specifically to make a point to intimidate or shock people from America, which I'd argue makes sense.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure national origin is protected. You want to look that up? National origin.
Yeah, I think it is.
1964.
It should either all be legal or all be illegal. I'm sick of this hypocrisy. It's ridiculous.
That's liberalism.
Yeah.
The true definition, not the colloquial, I really hate when people call the left liberals. They are not liberals. They have not been liberals for a very, very long time.
I don't think they know the true meaning of liberal.
So
enlighten us, Tim.
Well, liberal is a wide, encompassing view that basically means government by the consent, through the consent of the governed.
Okay.
Which means that the true definition of the word. It's why you hear people say they're classical liberals.
Okay.
So this is a reference to like the early American Revolution. Conservatives. So the United States is what's called a liberal democracy. It's not a reference to being leftist or being a democracy. It's a reference to the institutions we use, democratic voting process, and liberalism in the sense that we give our consent to be governed.
Okay.
To varying degrees. I know a lot of people are like, I don't agree with taxes, it's theft. It's like, but we were born here in a system that was already created, so we can have that argument. But typically, Western countries are called liberal democracies.
Yeah.
The left is anti-liberal. They are illiberal. Okay, illiberal meaning they don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in individual freedoms. They don't believe that the consent of the governed is required for the government to tell them what to do.
Well, you can speak free if you believe exactly the way they do.
Yeah.
So this is actually listen. The liberalism thing is all it all makes sense. These are people who believe that the world will end because of climate change, because individuals refuse to adhere to the way they see the world. So if you got that aluminum can right there, well, why don't you use recyclable bamboo, cans or whatever or something?
Actually,
right?
those metal cans are very, very recyclable.
Oh, but the recycling process produces a ton of CO2. If you used bamboo, it could be biodegradable.
I'm sure all of their computers that they're tweeting on are even more detrimental.
Excuse me, I'm more effective this way.
Oh my
How
gosh.
dare you, bigot? I'm allowed to do these things and you're not. That's illiberalism.
Right.
Rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly.
I'm seeing it everywhere.
So these people are like, they really think this way. I should be able to, I should be able to use computers
because I'm fighting to save the world. And if only these other people stopped, the world would be saved.
Yeah.
So they want to be the kings, so they can force you to live in a bamboo hut with a loincloth and no technology. They'll have the technology to make sure everyone lives properly the way they see fit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But that's literally what the far left advocates for. It is the opposite of liberal. So right now you have, I think, you know, I think it's funny whenever you see people arguing about what is or isn't the factions of the culture war.
Okay.
And it really is just, I love it. I really do love it. First of all, one of the first things I heard is, I think it was Milo Yiannopoulos who said this. It's authoritarianism versus libertarianism. You have the authoritarian factions who want to tell you how to live your life, and then you have the libertarian factions who want to respect individuality and stuff like that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I do too.
But then I've heard people say, that's not true. It's the nationalists versus the globalists. And I'm like, I actually don't agree with that because I'm not like an overt nationalist in that sense, but maybe that makes sense a little bit.
I mean, everyone's different. This is the issue. Everyone wants to put everyone on this like in each thing. No. I mean, everyone can be different. Everyone can have a little bit of aspects of everything. It's like, it's whether you're letting your emotions control it or the logical side of it control it.
Someone else's definition of what the factions of the culture war is.
You're absolutely right. And there's different versions of that for every single person. We are all different.
Then when you listen to the academic intellectual dark web types, they say the culture war is between groups with a postmodern worldview of subjective truth versus those who believe in objective reality.
Okay.
And I'm like, these are all kind of true.
Right.
But it's like, maybe that's just not like one faction and one faction. Maybe it's like an umbrella and an umbrella, and there's agreements. Because like, I don't base my identity around nationalism. I do love America, but I don't walk around thinking like, oh no, they're threatening to dissolve our borders and stuff. My thing is more about individual freedoms, respect, whether it's in this country or anyone else's.
Yeah.
You know, the cancel culture extends to the UK. I have friends in the UK who are subjected to this stuff. But then there are people whose identity is purely based on nationalism and protecting America. And so we might find that we agree on many issues because of what America stands for.
Yeah.
And then their view is like, here's what cancel culture really is. Ultimately, what I think cancel culture comes down to is whether or not you believe in, I believe authoritarian versus libertarian is the best way to view it. I really do.
Yeah.
Because, you end up with like Dave Rubin, a gay married man, classical liberal, having a sit-down conversation with Ben Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, where Ben straight up says, I don't agree with, how you live your life, and their friends having a conversation in complete disagreement. And that's what, you can see two people who clearly are in different factions in agreement about what's more important to them, living peacefully together versus what the other side is trying to do to them, So it's really interesting when you look at, there was a graph charting Clinton voters and Trump voters. Trump voters were ideologically across the spectrum, except for social justice, like intersectionalism.
Of course.
Clinton voters were clustered almost entirely. And so among the Trump's base, you had some people who were, you had half conservative, half liberal on economic policy and cultural policy. When it came to Hillary Clinton, it was like a huge far left cluster of intersectionality and like racial justice stuff.
What a surprise.
Yeah. So I think that makes sense. Trump won with a weird coalition they did not expect he could pull off.
Oh man, I saw a video today of all the pundits talking about how it was a joke. He's a clown. Can't believe he's running.
Kanye?
No, Trump. This was like 2015. Oh man, it's hilarious.
One of the most classic clips is when Ann Coulter was on Bill Maher.
Yeah.
List 20 of the things you built off the top of my head. I knew it was more.
Damn, I had to reload.
I think that Disney reopened today.
It was good until I had to reload. Shit.
I know you like Disney specific.
I'm going right back.
You cut out when you were talking about 51 creation. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know why my internet's acting up so bad. I said that I knew that it was way more than 20.